Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be going over Martial Arts Tourney, otherwise known as MA. This is a mission located in Avon. You obtain the mission by paying 10,000 gold and talking to Marlowe, which is right over here, right where you spawn in to the area. And we're going to go into the Globe Theater. There's a few different tactics you can use to complete this. The first one I'm going to go over is the one that will benefit elves the most, which is the Hyde Hydra strategy. So if we go on in to the mission here, and this is just the first round. Elves can use Hyde when they're out of combat. So once the enemies spawn in, what you're going to do is make sure you have hotkeys for both Hyde and Hydra so you can do it quickly. Unhide, load Hydra, plop it down, and immediately hide again. This will take damage on all the enemies. To get a little bit of a damage boost, you can equip a tower cylinder and then hide, and the damage will actually increase from that. And this is a very easy way for elves to clear the mission. You can basically clear this with even rank F Hydra, it's just going to take you longer. Hydra Transmutation has a 60-second cooldown, so every minute or so you can reuse Hydra and continue this. You have a whole 15 minutes to do the mission, so you shouldn't run out of time. And then the next strategy also involves alchemy, and this is more for humans and giants, how they can complete this. You can use rain casting. And this will give you time to set up your Hydra. Other useful skills are going to be Crisis Escape, so that you can drop aggro. Another way you can do that is with Shadow Cloak with ninja skills. So you'll want to be mindful of that. And that will help you manage the aggro between all the mobs. Some skills that don't draw aggro. You have Shuriken Storm, or Kunai Storm. Flame Burst also works. I believe Windmill works. You just have to be careful that you're not too close to them when you use Windmill. And then the final alternative is going to be Lightning Rod. I got hit. He got hit too. Lightning Rod also doesn't pull aggro, but Fireball will. So avoid using Fireball, Ice Spear, and Thunder if you're using Mage. So again, oops, I did not want to do that. Oh well. And then the other part of this strategy, if you're trying not to pull the aggro and fight them all at once, is to use Lullaby. You'll want to have Lullaby pretty high rank, because at rank 1 it only sleeps for 9 seconds, and that's barely enough time for you to reload rain casting. And because rain casting has such a long cooldown, you'll want to have all the bard skills ranked up so that you can have the additional music buff duration. Having the GM bard gives you an additional 30 seconds, but this 30 seconds makes it 39 seconds. And 39 seconds is huge because it allows you to do rain casting, and then once rain casting ends, you can lullaby to make up the difference between the first rain cast and the second one. So I'll go in here again. This time I'll use rain casting. And you can see rain casting has a cooldown here. This is going to be lower than it will be for most of you because I have rain casting cooldown on my boots as a reforge. I highly recommend that for any alchemists. But then if you have lullaby, you can put all the mobs to sleep so you don't have to worry about it. If you're Grandmaster Bard, this will give you time to whittle them down one by one. Keep note that you can only lullaby enemies one time, so once an enemy has been lullabied, it can't be lullabied a second time. But usually this isn't a problem. And this will give you time to basically fight each of them individually. So another method you can use for this, and this is a method I especially like, is by using Death Mark into Sandburst, and then you load up Flame Burst, and Flame Burst will drag all the enemies together, and you can damage all of them at once. And you can either do all 5 ticks, or let me drop their aggro real quick. So the other method you can use is to cancel on the 4th tick. So if you have rank 1 Flame Burst, 2, 3, 4, and then if you cancel on the 4th one, well, I'll just show you in the next wave. So we're going to use Death Mark and the Sandburst, and then we're going to Flame Burst the enemy that we use Death Mark on. And if we cancel on the 4th tick and reload the skill, it gives us enough time, and it prevents the knockback. 3, 4, cancel. You can just hit escape to cancel. But that's generally an easy way to do that, avoiding the knockback. Again, you can use other AoE skills like Kunai Storm, Chain Sweep. Chain Sweep's the other one I didn't cover. So Lightning Rod, Chain Sweep, Kunai Storm, Hydra, and Flame Burst, and Windmill. Those are the skills that you can use to do MA under a cloud and not pull aggro. They're all very useful. The last strategy I'm going to cover is without Alchemy, because I know a lot of you aren't alchemists. Rain casting is kind of a difficult skill to train, or at least it's time consuming and costs a lot of AP. Is to just go for the Bard strategy. So this is going to be if you just use Lullaby. Using only Lullaby, you want to focus on using just single target abilities. Or, if you can do it, you can also focus on like grouping them up and stunning them all together so that they don't get a chance to respawn. But the easiest way to do this is going to be to kill the mages first. You can stop the mages from casting magic abilities with either Chain Crush or Somersault Kick with fighter abilities. Once the mages are dead, and they're usually on the bookends there, you can then move on to the strategy we were using before, where you group them all together. And you can even combine certain multi target abilities like this. You just gotta be careful. Like, that one water cannon did that much HP of damage to me. So, just gotta be aware of that. Ooh, diamond. I like diamonds. So, as you can see, it's probably better to use the rain casting side of things rather than using the lullaby side of things. It just goes by quicker. You don't have to worry about aggro as much. Combining the two is pretty effective for humans and giants, but elves always have the option to just use the Hyde Hydra strategy. You're going to want to be mindful of your cooldowns for Crisis Escape and Shadow Cloak, if you have them. They're going to be really useful tools for you in this mission. So one other alchemy strategy I didn't cover here. You can actually use, if I remember right, shock works here. So the one other strategy you can employ, and this is the one I recommend the least, is going to be the Frozen Blast strategy, where you just freeze all the enemies, and then whittle them all down. It's just not as fun for me to use this strategy, but it is effective. You're going to need a pretty high rank Frozen Blast, but it'll work. So the only one that I would say that humans and giants are going to really struggle with is going to be the final round. Not the semifinals. These ones are fine. The final round has 4 enemies and they have significantly more HP. It's going to be harder and harder to kill all the enemies in the time period of 1 rain cloud the further on you go. Just because they have more and more HP, it's just going to be harder. I would definitely recommend having a bard with you. I would definitely recommend having alchemy. There's a lot of stuff that's really useful for this. Ninja works pretty well, especially with the ego and the cooldown reset. Oop, I hit the wrong one. Now for the grand final. This one's a tough one. This was the one that everybody's going to really struggle with. There's only 4 enemies, but they have massive amounts of HP. And they have massive damage as well. And again, we're just going to combine all of our different strategies here. I'm going to go over here and summon a pet. The reason I'm summoning the snowman is specifically for the debuff that it provides. I'm going to use that. We're going to throw down a Hydra. And we're going to try to inflict some bleed. And again, cancel on the 4th tick. And this will take you a lot longer if you're just starting out with this. I just barely finished it before my cloud ran out. So, and I have high rank cloud with a lot of water alchemy and extended duration. So just keep that in mind. It's going to take you a while to finish this particular section, and this is going to be the hardest one. You're going to need to combine all the different strategies here to really defeat this wave. They have a lot of defenses, just a lot of nonsense abilities. One of them has poison. Some of them teleport if you knock them over. So it's just generally it's just better to not ever aggro them in the first place and just whittle them down slowly with AoE abilities. You can also use chain sweep there. It's just I find that for myself, I enjoy using Kunai Storm with Flame Burst more. Turns out that the cooldown for Chain Cylinder is about the length of the duration of Kunai Storm's ability, like the load time and usage. So if I use Kunai Storm and then Flame Burst, it gets the Chain Cylinder. So I'm not waiting for it. But that's how you do MA. Usually at the end of MA, you'll be approximately level 58. If you use 2x combat experience, you'll probably hit 60 with one run. And if you use no potion, if you do 2 runs, you'll be like 63 or something like that after the end of the second run. Your first run of MA every day gives you an adventure seal, so it's useful for that. And aside from that, the other reason that this is good is it's a pretty quick way to get to level 60. You're almost guaranteed to hit level 60 no matter what if you do 2 runs. You can even quit before the final wave, go back into the mission starting from wave 1 by getting another pass from Marlowe, and then going all the way to the final wave again. That'll get you to level 60, so you don't ever have to do the very last one there with the 4 enemies. So if that one's too difficult for you, you can do that. And then once you get to level 60, you can then do Beltane missions. And the ones you're going to look at for Beltane missions are going to be Nowhere to Run or Counterattack. But Nowhere to Run is my preferred one. You basically go in, you fight a bunch of zombies. It'll get you all the way up to level, what is it, 100 something? Yeah, I think it's 100 something. It's 150 if you do the elite version. It might be 100 or 120 if you do the normal version. This is also a great way to train pets. So I'll cover that in another video, but basically this is the best way to get a lot of levels very quickly is you do MA twice and then you hop over here, you do nowhere to run, you'll already be over level 100. So it's a very fast way to get to level 100 right after you rebirth. It'll take you approximately an hour, give or take. If your Hydra is really low rank, if you're not able to do MA quickly, get a bunch of friends to join you. You can all run together, and that'll speed up the time it takes to do MA. If not everybody's on board with doing the Hyde Hydra strategy, because the Hydras don't overlap, you have to wait one at a time. The other way you can do it is you can just raincast. Everybody can choose their own enemy. They'll fight that one enemy and only have to worry about that. And you can still do the Hydra and try to keep everybody in the same area, and that'll also work. You can also try to like whittle down them one at a time while you're using Hydra. It's just Hydra plus Hyde for elves means you don't need any other alchemy skills or any other skills in general. You just need that. The higher your stamina, the higher your Hydra damage is. So I would recommend definitely getting rank 1 production mastery at the very least and working on some of your renowns. Some of your renowns will give stamina, particularly Elened. So I would definitely go for that one. And that should help you level up very, very quickly. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.